was that?
That was champagne.
Oh.
Because Chinese New Year just passed.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
There you go. It is the year of the rat. So all you snitches out there, go get it.
Oh, shit. Go hang out with Peter Pettigrew. What the fuck?
Damn, Harry Potter reference?
Yeah.
Damn. Don't hang out with Peter Pettigrew. He sucked. Wait, what year are you of the Zodiac? The Chinese.
The horse?
Are you the year of the horse?
It's either the horse or the dog, because I knew it was an animal that I liked as a child.
Right. I'm a horse.
Are you?
I am a horse. I'm a horse and I'm a scorpion.
You're a horse, of course.
I'm a horse and a Scorpio. So imagine that. Fucking horse, but that has pincers and a scorpion tail.
Terrifying.
But you'd ride that fucking thing around.
I would not. I would run away from it.
I would make it my friend. I'd name it Jeff.
You have a better strategy than I do, because Jeff is a great name for a scorpion horse.
Yes, it is.
A scorse.
A scorse or a horpion.
A scorpion.
No, it's a horpion.
All right. Well, the friend of Jeff is Sean Patton. That's Sean.
Yeah. That's
and,
me. That's Caitlin.
I don't know what year I am. Horse or dog?
I think you
horse.
I think you might be. I actually think you are a horse. 1990.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think you're a horse. So
All
you're
right.
a horse as well.
I'm a horse. And I am. Less interesting.
Then that's Caitlin, and she's very interesting. She just doesn't believe in herself enough.
I just don't believe in the Zodiac, or Chinese New Year is not a thing that I celebrate.
I thought you were about to be like, I don't believe in the Zodiac or the Chinese. I was like, whoa, dude, you should.
I should have gone for that joke. It is a very tiring evening.
And the Zodiacs are pretty cool. And the guest of this week, his Zodiac sign is a Gemini.
Ah.
I don't know that for sure, but that's what kind of personality he has.
I believed you.
Because he wears one face to the masses and another face to everyone else, like most comedians. Happy on the outside, sad on the inside. Louis Katz. That's a weird, but he's a fucking fantastically wonderful gentleman.
He is a wonderful gentleman, and he is here with a great, crazy story. If you haven't listened to this podcast before, you'll know that we have on a guest that tells a story. But before they tell us that story, they do what?
They give us 5 keywords from the story.
Yeah.
And based on what we know about the guest, we try and guess what the story is based solely on those 5 words. And are always 100% correct.
Yep.
And then they tell us the more correct version, because we're never correct. I don't think we've ever. I think we're 0 for 30. What is this episode? 36? 38?
You know what? We located our version of this particular story that Louis tells in the right-ish area. That's how close we got.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're working on it. But this story is out fucking rageous.
It's pretty crazy.
Yeah, because Louis is also that guy who seems very modest and chill on the outside, but on the inside is a flaming beast of a wild adventurer.
That's very true, actually.
Yeah. He's got some crazy, crazy experiences, and he's got more lined up. He's also, seriously, not only one of my favorite people in comedy, but also one of my favorite comedians, but also one of my favorite people just to, like, shoot the shit with and, like, hang out and talk. And he's been around, and he's seen it, opens for Dave Attel.
Yeah.
Just all kinds of awesome shit.
Yeah, you know what? But I feel like you've shot the shit with him a little more, but I've always felt like, oh, Louis here. I have someone to talk to, and he's chill and cool, and we'll have a laugh. And
there you go.
He's great. And then I got to know him a little more in this episode, which you will too, listeners.
Yeah, you will.
Yeah.
And you know what? And some of you are going to just fall right in love with him. And if you send us an email, I'll give you his phone number. So there it is. I will give out Louis' phone number if you
please don't
fall in love with him over this episode. Anyway, Caitlin, where are you going to be this week?
Oh, man. You know what? I'm sorry, listeners, but the only thing that I'm going to be promoting for the next several months is my show on April 23rd.
You mean the one at
Feinstein's 54 Below?
Feinstein's 54
the
Below.
below part was the basement.
Below, yeah.
I couldn't figure out the
Feinstein's 54 Below on
April 23rd.
April 23rd.
Yeah.
It's going to be a fucking Broadway show, but off Broadway.
Yeah. Well, that place is like a Broadway training ground.
A comedic Broadway review.
Showcase area. Yeah. So that's the only thing that I truly care about in this world. So.
And you got from today. You got 2.5 months to get tickets, people. So
yeah,
do it.
get tickets, and if you're listening from out of town, buy a flight. Come to New York.
If you buy a flight to come see the show, you can stay with Louis. I
was about to be like, you can have Louis' phone number.
Yeah, I'll give you his number, and he can stay on Louis' couch to come see Caitlin's show.
Absolutely, he would be super down for that because that makes sense. Sean, where are you going to be?
I'm in New York this week. I'm at the Stand Comedy Club this weekend. I'm at the Cellar Comedy Club this weekend. I'm bouncing back between those two. This weekend. I'm all over the place this week. Just look for me. You'll find me. I'm in New York doing spots. New York Comedy Club, the Stand, the Cellar. Probably another I think there's a bar show in there. I can't remember, but those are all fucking fun. I love those too. Just look on my
I feel like that's mostly on your Instagram.
Yeah, look on my Instagram. I'll be posting that stuff.
And same with Louis. He, I believe, is going to be around New York this week. He's definitely going to be at Broadway Comedy Club on February 5th. That's on his website right now. It's an upcoming date. But go follow him on Instagram. He's fucking hilarious. And enjoy the episode. Wait, I'm going to burp. No, I'm not. It just passed.
It comes out like that. Yeah. All right.
All right.
All right. Holler at me, Jeff. Wait. That, by the way, was a very, very spot-on impersonation of a something around the size of a cigarette lighter falling into mud.
Do it again. All right. Oh, cartoon
from
one.
Cartoon.
Animated?
Yeah,
Okay.
I guess things don't make like a sound ever.
Yeah, it was a very loud mud.
Yeah.
But,
Party mud.
Well, it was a cigarette lighter dropped from 15 stories up.
In a cartoon.
Someone was lighting a cigarette on a balcony party. It was raining outside.
Okay.
Overlooking a park. Very nice apartment overlooking a park. And they handed the lighter to someone. They're all drinking. Coordination's off. They drop the lighter.
Yeah.
Yeah. No,
It makes a different amount of impact every time.
I don't know if you've noticed this, but I've pointed this out when I've had to do the intros alone.
Yeah.
Because you leave me and you're traveling. Sean likes to start every episode of this podcast, the 5 Words Podcast, with a sound effect that he then figures out what it just was.
I feel like there's an infinite.
Did you know that you do that?
I don't. It's almost like I don't want to know. Because then I'll start overthinking it, and then I'll start doing it too much, which I probably already do it too much. But then if I'm doing it too much and trying to nail it every time, then I'm just going to take over the podcast.
That's true. And you said doo-doo.
And the world. Yeah.
And please welcome our guest, Louis Katz.
Louis Katz.
Oh, hi.
Our wonderful
how's it
guest, Dr. Louis Katz.
I'm here.
Did you know that there is a Dr. Louis Katz that pops up when you Google your name?
Oh yeah, I'm signed up for Google alerts for my name, and mostly it's this doctor taking all the limelight. But every once in a while it's me. That's good.
You know what's interesting right now? I mean, I see your face all the time. I probably see you on average. I'm gonna guess. On average, I spend 25 hours a year with you.
I think that's a good guess. I
Right?
think it's a good estimate. Yeah.
Right? 25 hours a year.
Yeah.
Tough time. And right now, you're rocking a beard.
Yes.
Gotta say I love it.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
It fits you. Some people, you know what you got? Now I'm gonna square up my sitting. Because now when I get into this, you got tight beard hair.
Oh, I know. Yeah,
You know what I mean?
It's
compact.
thick. It doesn't look. There's not holy.
yes.
It's like
Yeah.
It's getting in there. It's
Some
a full
people
You
full
have
beard.
tight beard hair.
Yeah,
That's such
tight
a
beard
good
hair.
band name. No, but there are some people that just have the tufts, the puffs
Yeah.
of beard hair.
It's exciting for me to have any kind of hair again. It's like, I just grow it on the opposite side, and it's there.
Our
So it's nice.
very good friend Shane Torres and usually when you say very good friend before you say someone's name is because you're about to insult them. Sorry, Shane. But his facial hair grows like a 98-year-old like Buddhist monk. Just like strands.
Oh, I was like, just out of one mole, like just 3 strands out of a single mole.
No moles on Shane's face right now, but just like Shane. I think that's Shane's one shortcoming in life. He's a sweet dude, brilliant
very
comedian,
sweet dude.
very open-minded, forward-thinking guy, shitty at growing beards. There you go. That's maybe Shane's one problem.
Yeah. He's
Louis,
got those eyes, though. His eyes are beautiful.
Beautiful eyes.
Yeah.
See, speaking of eyes, these new frames.
Oh, yeah? You like them?
I dig these.
Thanks. I changed up my whole look. It was kind of freaking me out because I didn't, like, I would look in the mirror and be like, that's not me. And it was weird for a while.
Interesting. Yeah.
It was really kind of a trip.
What do you mean, like this current look?
Yeah, more or less. I mean, just like shaved head and beard. Like, that's just, I've never looked like that.
No.
It's
You
weird.
always had so much hair on top of your head. And you always had so much hair. And your glasses, you always had more of like the classic, thick-rimmed,
Yes.
Warby Parker
San
type?
Francisco elitist intellectual poet.
I'm still an elitist. But I just look
Not
down.
a poet.
I look down on people through a different frame now.
Yeah,
That's
exactly.
what it
You've
is.
got a wider berth
Yeah.
of prescription lens to look through.
Yeah, I still have some thick frame ones too. I don't know. I'm just switching it up. I'm just switching up and trying to adapt to this new skin.
You know what
I'm
this
in.
is though? This is very like CIA agent who's not in the field, who's in the field but not doing the combat anymore.
I like that. I always think it's just junior rabbi. So if I'm doing that, that sounds good to
Oh
me.
no, I don't see. I mean, I don't know enough junior rabbis. But the look you got right now, like if I walk past you on the street, I'm like, I bet that guy's negotiated the deaths of foreign dignitaries
Cool.
Yeah.
in their land.
Good. I hope that keeps me safe in the streets. I hope everyone's thinking that.
That guy looks like the only reason he wears glasses is because he wants to see better.
Like,
which is why everyone
2020, and now it's like this is like
No, I want to
advanced.
see 2040.
Yeah.
Like everybody
make
wants.
sense?
No, that would make no sense. It would be like
I'm sorry, I
2010.
don't know anything about glasses.
Do you know what that means?
No.
The 2020, and I'm paraphrasing, but it straight up means if something is 20 feet away,
Yeah.
it appears 20 feet away.
Oh, so you would
So-
want to be like 25.
You'd want 25. I mean, that would be, that's what owls have, I think.
I would like
They have
that.
something like, they can see a millisecond into the future.
Wow.
Has there ever been a superhero that has like zoomy eyes?
Zoomy
Like
eyes?
zoomy eyes.
with really good vision.
Yeah.
It does. You think so many superheroes are invented by Jews. You think they would have one where it's like they just can
I
really
need
see.
no corrective eyewear.
But like, if you could just, I guess there's like X-ray vision and like Cyclops and Daredevil. In
But
terms
neither of those, none of
senses.
those are what you're saying. Actually, there should be one with like
you can zoom in on.
I don't know. Spider-Man probably has the vision of a spider. I don't know.
Yeah.
I
Is
think
that
he
good
does,
vision?
but the spiders have, I mean, they have 8 eyes.
They do.
So if you like just compact
I think
8
they have very good vision.
like
though.
four eyes per eye,
It's a lot of vision.
it's a lot of vision.
Oh, Hawkeye.
Ah.
He can. That's why he's so good with the bow and arrow.
Hawkeye.
Is
I
because
thought
he
you-
has a hawk.
You thought he said hot guy.
I thought you said hot guy.
You know, Hawkeye. His
I know.
power is his abs.
He
and
has,
it's
you know,
just-
the powers of just being charming.
Yeah.
Everyone says yes to
Right.
him. He gets all the
He's
roles.
so attractive that things just come closer to him naturally. So he doesn't need actually good vision. Wait, now that I've got 2 Jews in the room,
Yeah, it's exciting for you.
yeah, it's exciting. I have so many. We should make a segment of this podcast called Sean Asks Inappropriate Jew Questions.
Every time that
Yeah.
there is a Jew guest.
Yeah, I have so many questions.
That was the most anti-Jew way I could phrase that. A Jew guest.
I'm a Jew guest.
Jewish guest.
I like
no,
it.
you do bring this up.
Because it's such an interesting thing. Because if you've lived in New York or in LA or in any major city, you've come across. I've had the kosher conversation, and I even know like some like you. I think you only fuck with kosher, right?
No, man. What are you talking about? I eat everything.
All right, never mind.
I'm Orthodox non-observant, which means I don't do anything. But I do know a lot about it, even though
Yeah,
I
were you
know
raised
about.
Orthodox?
No. I was raised Reform, but I did like. I went to temple. I had a bar mitzvah.
Also
I went
raised
to
in
Hebrew
Los
school.
Angeles, right?
Also raised in Los Angeles.
So LA Jews. I
Yeah.
got 2 LA Jews.
That's right.
I got
Yeah,
2 West
yeah,
Coast
yeah,
Jews.
yeah,
yeah.
So that means you guys wore your Jewish outfits and then chucks, not ballies. That's a. Come on now. If you're a 90s kid.
I wore Chucks for like a year, and then I couldn't walk anymore because they ruined my feet. So I had to stop wearing them.
I love the idea. Is that a thing like in the Orthodox world? Is there like slight differences to like an LA Jew versus a New York Jew in the Orthodox realm?
Well, I can't really speak
I don't
for the
know.
Orthodox,
Yeah.
but I do. I mean, there's even differences between like west side of LA Jew versus Valley Jew versus like city Jew.
Oh, really?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, there's like the west side has so many Persian Jews that it's a whole nother, and that's a whole
Yeah.
nother thing.
Don't you mean Sephardic? Huh? Coming through with
No.
the fact?
No,
never
not
mind.
really. No,
Shit.
sorry.
I had a good-
I mean,
thought I had one.
specifically Persian.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
I mean, they are Sephardic, but that's
Yeah.
a different.
That's different.
Yeah, it's different.
Y'all are a bunch of not Ashkenazis, right?
Yep.
Ashkenazis?
Yeah.
Well, what was that the first time?
Ashkenazis. No, okay, but like kosher.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
I forgot to tell you, Louis, this podcast is about grilling the Jews.
I just have Jew questions.
Yeah.
And it's because I want to
grill
know.
us, just don't bake us,
Kosher
you know?
is essentially just something okayed by a rabbi, right?
No.
No, what is it?
There's a whole set of rules about what you can eat and what you can't eat.
Right.
And the rules a lot of times are very they'll say they do this thing where they kind of build a fence around the rule to make sure you never even come close to breaking the rule. Like the rule, you're not allowed to eat dairy and meat, right? You know that's a rule.
As an Orthodox Jew.
Yes, or anyone who keeps kosher. You don't have to whatever you can be reformed and keep kosher if you want. Whatever you want. So the actual rule is you shouldn't boil a calf in its mother's milk, or maybe a kid even. Maybe it's goat based. And the thing is that now, so they just made that no dairy with meat. Period.
Okay.
Now we have totally different farms. The dairy farm is different from the meat farm,
Right.
so it's impossible. You would never do that. Also, who the fuck is boiling meat in milk? It's
That's
gross.
just weird. Yeah, that's
So even though that's the truth, you won't. They say, all right, we're just gonna make this. We're gonna make this rule around it, so you can't even ever come close to breaking the rule. Does that make sense?
I love the idea that's just like that seems just like a very like, hey, look, don't boil a fucking calf in a mother's milk.
And it's
like,
mother's
but
milk.
who would actually do that? It's like, I don't know, but I'm just saying in general. Also, don't decapitate your father.
You never
People
thought
do
about
that? Probably. Just don't do it. These are kosher rules.
You never thought about like eating fried chicken in front of a chicken just to like kind of mock them a little bit?
It's like it's like having an omelet with chicken in it where you're like, this feels wrong.
Yeah, and that's not. I think that's
Yeah.
that is kosher. That is kosher, but it shouldn't be.
Yeah, it should.
Yeah, it shouldn't be.
So you could eat a chicken omelet.
Yes.
Yeah.
You could eat a chicken wrapped in its own seed, basically, in
Yes.
its own embryo.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow, but you can't eat. But I can't boil some steak in some
No.
fucking.
You can't have a
which
cheeseburger.
is just weird.
Well, you can't have a cheeseburger. Is what it is. Like
Yeah.
that's where it's really.
Oh,
Yeah.
so it's like a set of like.
It's no dairy and meat now at all.
Yeah.
It's just
Okay.
you can't do it. So it's like that was the original rule was the boiling the calf and then they build this other rule around it so it's never broken.
So they're not so much like PowerPoint, like strict, like 14 grams of vitamin D a day. Can't touch something that's been in the sun for too long. It's more of just like a like general like, hey, if it had 4 feet but never walked on land, you shouldn't wear it.
I mean,
they're
I don't know how to
more-
answer that very confusing question. Can you phrase that in a more English-based way?
I mean, like
I feel like I'm high right now.
I have this effect on people where I ask questions that are so stupid it makes you question your sobriety. Are the kosher rules less direct and more just like overall like ideals? See what I'm saying? Like
Well, a lot of them
bo-
are about not being cruel to animals. I mean, look, maybe this is just the way they taught us. They've also kind of theorized as to why they have these rules. And it does seem to make sense that a lot of them are either about not being cruel to animals
Right.
or about actually health reasons. Like just because things were more dangerous
Right.
back then.
Can't
the-
eat pork. because
Yeah,
of the
pork was more
trichinosis.
dangerous
Right, yeah, yeah.
then.
Right.
Also, there was no bottom feeders so that's what the no shellfish is. But you also can't eat catfish because they are kind of like filthier sea animals.
They're
You know.
delicious.
Yeah, they're the most delicious.
Yeah.
But and then there's other ones that I think are just to separate. Some of the rules are also just to so it's either like no cruelty towards animals,
Right.
health code things, or then other things are just like separate the Jews from other people. So like we do this, you do that, but we don't do that, and that's our thing. You know what I mean? So
Then that's what's interesting to me is like you recognize now that like the no shellfish, no catfish. Nowadays, pretty much all shellfish and catfish is farmed,
yeah.
right? So there's the idea of like bottom feeding is like not.
Well, aren't they just sitting in a pool of their own feces then?
Yeah, but it's like
Isn't farmed also bad?
farmed. I think it's more clean than not farmed.
I don't know about that.
Maybe it isn't.
I don't know.
We don't fact check on this
Yeah.
podcast.
No, I just was
Boring.
thinking I'm gonna have to do so
But
much
I'm
fact-checking now.
saying like, but have you eaten catfish or shellfish recently?
Sure.
They're
Yeah.
fucking amazing. It's
Yeah, it's
amazing.
delicious.
Yeah.
So like,
Shrimp is my favorite food.
right. So then, but then it seems like in a Jewish culture, you're kind of taught to question everything.
Yes.
So why not turn that questioning on the kosher rules and be like, hey, some of these aren't really.
Well, that's why a lot of people don't follow them.
Applicable.
Yeah, a lot of people don't follow them. And, a lot of people question them. My dad had this whole theory. He wanted to make a movie about this mad scientist, this mad Jewish scientist.
Yeah.
And they, found all these, loopholes for the rules. So there's this other rule, you can't eat, you have to eat something that has to have not a cloven hoof or a cloven hoof? Not a cloven hoof.
Not a cloven hoof.
So it's there's just one hoof for a cow. And he was like, if you gave shrimp not hooves, then you could eat them. He was like this whole mad kosher mad scientist thing.
Like a Dr. Moreau?
Yeah, it's
like
his
a Dr. Moreauberg?
Yeah, exactly. Yes. Yes, that's good. Yeah, that's one of his big concepts that he tried to sell to me. Yeah.
Who's just making animals to eat based on kosher rules?
They actually tried to they found a pig that had not cloven hooves, and they were this is a way we can eat. Maybe we can eat pork this way. I don't know what ended up happening. I haven't talked to the rabbi scientist, but
that's fucking hilarious.
Yeah,
shellfish with just no legs at all. But then it would be a bottom feeder, right?
Yeah, this is just my dad's dumb idea. This is not.
I don't know, dude. I think this is one of those ideas like your dad gifted you. You are in the entertainment industry. Let's write this script right now.
He's gifted me a lot of garbage throughout the years, and that's definitely one of the bad ones.
Yeah. Speaking of kosher, though, I was just remembering that one phase where saying, "Is it oh yeah, you're kosher, man?" was actually kind of
you're in.
Yeah, was used by non-Jews as well.
Yeah.
There was a weird blip of.
Dude,
there's a lot of Yiddish in American language.
Just absolutely. Schlep.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, the one that always bothers me is people saying spiel instead of spiel. That bugs the shit out of me.
I've never heard anyone say spiel. That's ridiculous.
Yeah.
I hear it all the
It's
time.
wrong.
What's your
It's so
spiel?
wrong.
What?
Yeah, especially with comedians.
Spiel.
No, what's your stick? Also, they say what's your stick?
Shtick.
Yeah. Yes.
But they say stick.
Stick. It's more that. It's more that than spiel.
But
It's stick.
Yeah.
That's probably also the kind of person that says, "Oh, I loved your skit."
Yes, it's that.
It's
It's the same thing.
Also, the kind of person who's like, "Oh, well, they're a black, but they're cool." You know what I mean? Those people always. There's levels of just misuse of language and other ideas.
Yeah. I mean,
shtick, schlep, all shit. I probably put too much schlick. What's your shtick?
Schmegma.
Schmegma. That's not kosher.
No, it's not.
I mean, but schmegma. Wait, that is a Yiddish word.
No, it's no. It's smegma. I think it's just smegma.
It's
I know.
smegma.
Yeah. See, that's funny because
Schmegma does sound Yiddish.
Yeah,
it sounds
it
like a Orthodox kid's name.
Schmegma.
Shmooly and Schmegma.
What a terrible name. No one named their kids that.
Wait,
The Hebrew names are some of the ugliest. They have the worst nicknames, like Shmooly and Doo-Doo.
Mm-hmm. Shlomo.
Yeah, Shlomo. Doo-Doo.
But
I mean, Doo-Doo is really pretty bad.
Yeah,
it's
I
pretty
thought
crazy.
Shlomo was like a Yiddish word for an actual buffoon. A
No,
Shlomo.
no, it's
That's
a
a
name.
name?
It's a name.
It's a
Wow, fantastic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
See, this is why I have Jew questions, because you get little back avenue information like this. It's always fun. Wait, but schmegma or smegma,
Smegma.
but we're all talking about the same stuff, right?
Yeah, it's the gross
Dick cheese.
stuff.
Dick cheese.
Yes.
Yeah.
Because I grew up where it had no gender specific, and I'm trying to sound real woke about that, but I'm not.
No
but
gender
when I was
specific?
when I grew up, when I was a kid, schmegma could apply to the dick cheese or to the vagina.
Vagina cheese?
To the
What
vagina,
the fuck is vagina cheese?
film.
Vagina film?
Yeah, it could be anything. Schmegma.
what?
Schmegma. It could be anything. It could be. I think
That's
Smegma.
crazy.
I
I've
think
never,
we probably
I've never
said
heard
smegma,
that.
but yeah,
It's
it could
smegma.
be. It could be either. It could
Don't
be the.
put that Yiddish
It could be the
into this
the.
terrible
Right.
word.
It could be the cheese, the filth, the yuck. The smut, the smuts,
Schmutz.
schmutz.
Yeah. I never heard it applied that way.
It could be.
No,
it
me
was
neither.
smegma was just genital cheese.
Gunk.
Genital
Gunk. Yeah.
Genital schmutz.
Genital schmutz.
I just don't think there's that much genital schmutz. Does women have that? I'd never heard of that.
Yeast infections?
That's an infection.
Yeah, I know, but it still could fall under the schmegma. They can still classify.
I mean, I guess there's sometimes it's like
a smegma.
there can be like a kind of discharge or some shit.
Yeah. It's hard to
Amy
categorize.
Schumer has that older joke that
A
when she was
Schumer?
first blowing up, Schumer, about how women's underwear always looks like someone blew their nose in it.
That's funny.
Yeah.
Ali Wong has the one about how a guy so hot. That actually grosses me out, and I love a dirty joke. And this is the one joke that grosses me out. She's like, guy so hot, it made her underwear look like the bottom of a bird cage.
Oh yeah,
which is disgusting.
Yeah, I remember that. That's hilarious.
Grosses me
that's
out.
fucking
It's
hilarious.
so funny when it grosses me out.
Wait, what did you? When I say this, tell me if you've ever heard it or used it as a kid. Dog water.
That's news to me.
Dog water?
What's dog water?
Dog water was
I want to know.
was the fluid that wasn't sperm that meant that you ejaculated. If you were shooting
Pre-cum?
blanks. If you were shooting
Pre-cum?
blanks.
Is it pre-cum or
Not more shooting blanks. If you were shooting
So
blanks.
you like masturbated too much, or you were too young?
You were blowing dog water.
what the fuck?
Yeah, dog water.
Wait, but I don't even understand when this happens to you physically. Like, what are you talking
Wait, is
about?
it that you've masturbated too much and there's nothing left?
Is
or
that
you were
pre-bust
too
before the
young?
real bust? Sometimes that happens to me.
It could be pre-bust or it could just be blanks. But it was
Who is this blanks thing?
like shooting blanks.
No, never heard of
Learning
this.
so much about the human body on this
Never
podcast.
heard of
It
this.
is.
What do you mean blanks?
Like non-toxic, sterile sperm.
How do you know that? How would anyone know that?
No one knows. But when you were a kid, when you were 16, like he shoots dog water. That was the thing. We called it dog water.
I'm so
That's
confused.
I mean, I just don't. I mean, it's like he had my friend had a vasectomy, so he only shoots dog water.
That would work. That would work
But
in the context. Yeah. Yeah.
like just bad nut, like not good
Bad
sperm.
nut. Yeah.
Oh, so no one knows.
Just
It's
like
just
non-fertile
like,
sperm.
No,
Yeah.
we never.
Insult.
We never had
it was
like
an insult,
anything
yeah.
about. We never. I don't think I ever insulted someone the quality of someone's sperm before, but that is a area that I would definitely
I have
wish I had
every
explored.
Time.
Yeah. That was a 16-year-old. It's like, man, that guy's shooting nothing but dog water.
God, I'm
That
trying
definitely-
to, like,
Dog water.
Sounds like some southern ass shit.
Yeah.
I think yeah.
And it was because like if you look in a dog's water bowl and that hasn't been changed for a while, it doesn't.
Oh yeah, it does
Yeah,
have that
yeah.
little
Yeah,
bit.
yeah.
Thing.
It does have a non-fertile sperm
Yeah,
below to it.
the phrase I always liked was one I learned from the Miles Davis autobiography. I don't know if you guys read that.
No.
He says something's cleaner than a broke dick dog, and I don't know
Dude.
what that means, but I love it.
Something. I mean, I get it.
yeah.
Broke dick dog's gonna stay inside.
Is that why? 'Cause
No, I feel like a
Yeah.
broke dick dog. He broke his dick because he was like cleaning himself too much.
I don't
really?
know. I thought
Oh.
it was that because his dick was broken. Yeah, he can do. He's not like fucking as much. so he's keeping it clean.
He's
That was
indoors.
not my
he's
But I don't know.
interpretation.
I
I
think
just
your
feel like
one is
dogs
good.
clean themselves
cleaner
a lot.
than
So.
cleaner than a broke dick dog. He's got no reason to go run around out in the street in the alley and get all dirty.
Yeah, so he's like,
indoors.
yeah, my dick's
That's
broke.
a great phrase. though.
Broke dick
I'm
dog.
just gonna
Broke
stay in and
dick
watch
dog.
Netflix. I'm a broke dick dog.
Thank you, Detroit. We're a broke dick dog.
Broke dick dog is good.
Yeah.
That is good.
Yeah.
I mean, any true hardcore music fan will be like, Miles Davis reference, broke dick dog.
I'm sure there's a whole generation of black people that knew that phrase, but I've only heard it there. Never heard it anywhere else.
There were dude.
Interesting.
I mean,
Yeah.
so or maybe it's jazz heads. I don't know. Maybe it's a New York jazz thing, but it was like he was using it like it was like, pretty clean. Like
Yeah.
like a broke dick dog.
Yeah.
Like everyone should know how
Yeah,
clean a broke dick
you know.
dog is.
Yeah, it's broke dick dog. That is such a god damn. I would love to have been there the moment someone observed an actual broke dick dog. And then saw how it just kind of stayed inside and obeyed everything its owner did, and just generally just a very non-disgusting animal. It's like, man, that is clean, broke dick. that broken dick really turned Max there into
Yeah.
quite the perfect pet.
It's a great origin
Broke dick
story.
dog.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I think there's a lot of we miss a lot of country
yeah.
sayings like that, where it was like
Yeah.
you'd see some animals and you'd realize these things about them and have a great saying like smoother than a duck's belly or whatever the fuck.
Smoother than a duck's belly.
Smoother than a
Yeah.
duck's
Oh, which makes sense because they're always landing.
Yeah, very smooth.
On water,
Very smooth.
smooth.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
know.
It's funny. I feel like that sort of regional slang doesn't really exist that much anymore because of social media. And now,
I wonder about
yeah.
that. I wonder. There's those tests you can take where if you answer the way you pronounce things, the way you say certain things, they know where you're from.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Those are pretty cool. They're pretty accurate. I
Yeah,
think.
it's like, or sometimes they'll be like, "What do you call this?" And it's like the thing in the middle of the street if it's an
Yeah.
island, a median,
Yes.
or
Yeah,
that kind
yeah.
of thing. It's like
Yeah.
very regional.
Yeah.
Dude, I just like the idea of having the phraseology of just like, man, he is squirrelier than a fucking nut salesman in Central Park. Because there's a lot of squirrels just running up.
That's really good. That's excellent. That's way better than my dumb duck one.
No,
that one's great.
smoother than a duck's belly.
No. Squirrelier than a nut salesman in Central Park is great.
That is good.
That one sounds like like no cool black jazz musician would ever say that.
I don't know. Maybe the guy that drove us home from the airport in LA would say something.
You know
like
what? I think it's the last. You added one phrase too many.
Yeah.
It's you're squirrelier than a nut vendor.
that.
There you
Yeah.
go.
You know what I
Bam.
mean?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Have ever
we had a
done.
guy in LA, a Lyft driver. I mean, you ever, like in general, I think, I feel like out there, just in the general consensus of Lyft driving and ride sharing, I feel like most people who drive for Lyft or Uber have kind of gotten the message of like, hey, don't just talk to the passenger.
Yeah.
Like vet
I remember
them.
early Lyft, it was like, okay, you're required to talk to this
Yeah,
person.
yeah.
Early Lyft, you sat up
And they had
front.
the fuzzy pink mustaches.
Yeah. Oh, fuck those days.
Yeah.
Dude, did I ever? Dude, there was the first time I ever took Lyft because I was an Uber dude first.
Oh, of course.
And then I
We
started.
all were.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The first time I ever took a Lyft, the guy told it was in L.A. The dude told me this unbelievably painful story about how like the night before he picked up his ex-girlfriend, but it was because he picked up at some dude from a bar. And in gets the dude because it's on his account and his ex-girlfriend.
Oh my God, that's
2 months
horrible.
earlier, and they're just canoodling in the back
Ooh,
of.
no.
And she didn't recognize the car because he's like, "This is a new car." He's like, "I moved
She
out."
didn't even look
fuck.
at him?
She didn't know it was what she was getting into. She's
Yeah.
like, she definitely knew it was him.
Oh,
But
weird.
she was sort of like, and I was like, "Did you guys break up in like a fucking shitty
I think she
way?"
could have not known.
Yeah, well, he said like they definitely broke up in like a not good nor bad way, just an it's over way. And I was like, how long were we together? He was like 2 years. I'm like, fuck. And she's just like, he's driving her to home where this
Go
guy
fuck
is
this guy?
to fuck this guy.
Oh, God, that's horrible.
And I was
Wow.
like, buddy. And like we just talked for a while, and then when we got to where he was dropping me off, he's like, "Hey man, feel free to say no, but is there any way I could run up and use your bathroom?" This is when I was like living in L.A. I'll come and use your bathroom with Crepin. I was like, "Yeah, man, totally, 100%." And he came in and he like went to the bathroom and he was in there for not that long, and then he like, "All right, man, later, hey, later, bye," nothing. And then like I went in right after him and it was like, "Oh, this dude just blew out, like just blew out." The bathroom.
So he emotionally blew out in the car.
Like
and
he,
then
yeah, I mean,
blew out of the bathroom.
I'm talking just like one of those like, holy fuck, like shut the door immediately,
Wow.
step outside, have a cigarette, shits.
Wow.
And part of me was like, I wonder if he knew he had to shit and was just softening me up. By telling me this highly personal story.
That's a diabolical shitter right there. I don't know who can think that.
I mean, judging by the aftermath of the one, I was like, man, this guy probably has to fucking work people all the time. Just walk into hotels limping, like, oh God, this is from an injury where I dove in front of a bus once to save a blind woman. Anyway, can I use your bathroom?
I've had to shit really bad lots of times, but I never have the like. You never have that kind of mind frame, man. You're
No.
not thinking that. In fact, it's hard for me to think when I have to shit like that.
Yeah.
So I don't think that was planned. I think it worked out well for him.
Or he's the most creative guy in LA. Because you think it would just be easier to find a regular public bathroom around every kind of neighborhood.
No,
that's
it's hard to do.
No, LA
it's
is
hard to do.
LA and both. I feel like New York's easier with public bathrooms. 'cause
Hell
you
yeah.
Just walk into places.
Yeah, way easier.
Starbucks.
Yeah.
Starbucks. I think Starbucks' business model is like will essentially be like public bathroom 2.0.
I've heard they've
Yeah.
changed that now. They're kind of
Yeah.
like getting rid of
Really?
the bathrooms.
They
Yeah.
have codes and stuff, yeah.
Well, also they don't want people to like be staying there all day. They're like tired of being like the Hobo Central or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that's definitely like when I first moved here. Starbucks were definitely like little beacons of like, oh, cool, I can sit down, get a shitty coffee, use the bathroom, and like reassess.
Yeah.
Like, and I guess like yeah, like
I feel but you got to feel bad for those like. You sign up to sell people coffee and you end up cleaning a homeless
Yeah.
bathhouse, and it's like that's not it's fucked up.
it's
for them.
way worse than Los Angeles.
You think so?
Because I think
There's
like
more. Well, there's a crazy homeless.
well, the
problem.
homeless.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't think I don't know if one city's worse than the other. I think LA. I
LA
think
is worse.
just because like the weather's better.
Yeah, the weather's
Yeah.
so
bad.
people can survive.
Yeah.
Like living on the streets in LA is the elements aren't harsh enough. I think it's like the natural elements anyway.
Yeah.
But yeah, like dude, I have definitely gone into not just Starbucks, coffee shops in LA where it's like, oh man, that guy brought his whole carton here and just occupied the corner.
Yep.
And now at some point, someone's going to have to go over there and be like, hey, buddy.
Yeah, man.
Can you get your tarp out of here? and then you probably feel bad having to be that guy.
Yeah, for sure.
Can you go back on the street, please? This is why I do not like, and I will never be on board with street side dining in major cities. I feel like it is weird. Such a like, hey, we've got access to air conditioning and indoors plumbing and all that stuff, but we want to dine out here on the street where you live a concrete nightmare. People like,
yeah, but that's like
I get it if it's a backyard. I get it if there's like a back.
Well, I mean, what about like Paris? It's all about like those outdoor cafes. It's
what's
like
the
nice.
homeless? What's the homeless situation like in Paris though? How like
they got some homeless people?
Do they take better care of their citizens?
Everything's all bad all over the place. It's there's a lot of homelessness.
Yeah.
They're just they're refugees there from Africa. That
True.
Out there and all kinds of shit
from
like
the Middle East too.
Yeah, and the Middle East. Yeah.
Yeah, it's but like they're like I just want to see it once. I just want to see this once.
What?
Just to be there's a fucking restaurant where people are eating on the street, and you know how sometimes it's like the restaurant will take up like 40 to 60% of the sidewalk.
Yeah, sure.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, one of those where people are just eating, and I just want to see a homeless guy walk by and just take a plate.
Oh yeah,
just take a full plate of food.
That's definitely a fear of mine. I don't like riding in
away with it.
I don't like riding in convertibles for the same reason. I don't like. Sometimes I feel too exposed. Like someone can just walk by and slap me in the head.
No one ever looks cool riding in a convertible.
I don't wish that on you, but I want to see that happen to somebody.
Just someone walks by and just touches,
like,
slaps them in the head.
Just a slap on the back of the head.
or just like water balloon.
Yeah. How about just throw their garbage in their car? Here, have some. You know how there's that safety of being in a car where you're like you kind of you know like no one can touch you. You can talk shit. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You still, you know.
Oh yeah,
it's why in a
road rage
convertible
exists.
in a long time. Yeah, but I do feel that way in a truck, like
really?
with stuff in the back of a truck. I feel nervous about it.
Yeah,
like,
I don't like that exposure.
Yeah,
man, you're more nervous than a baldy in a convertible. Worried that someone's gonna slap your bald head. I mean, I encourage it next time. I mean, I think everyone looks like a dipshit in especially in a major city.
Yeah,
really.
It's like get the fuck out of here.
What about in LA? It's like
I think
so common.
I think every time I see it, I'm like, you are a insecure ding dong, where you need to take your roof down to enjoy the sun, but you're also projecting. You're like, but look at me, I have a convertible.
You hate people enjoying the sun. Is what it sounds like.
I hate
you don't like people outdoors having a good time.
Yeah.
I love people outdoors having a good time. I hate it when it's someone in a situation where not everyone has access to the same fun.
Sean wants to be in the convertible.
So how about picnicking in the park?
Sure, 100%.
That's okay, but eating on the sidewalk is not okay?
Because on the sidewalk, some people, picnicking in the park is different than eating on the sidewalk.
How so?
Because in the park, you're bringing your own food. It's like you're doing the work of bringing the picnic to the thing. It's not easy. A picnic is not.
No, it's not.
It's not a fucking.
A picnic's no picnic.
No, exactly. Like it's a process. It's work. You have to want it. You have to earn it. Going to just sit at a restaurant and bark an order at some poor fuck and have them bring you food on the sidewalk because you want to get a little bit of sunshine while you're in New York City, where there are where there's fucking people struggling walking by. I think that's
I don't know
different.
if I just don't. I think I don't agree with you. I have a fear of someone stealing my food. But I don't agree that it's wrong to eat out there.
Wrong is the wrong.
Or I don't think it's like dickish or anything. I think it's nice to be outside. Like we're indoors too much. It's not healthy to be indoors all the time, man.
But be outdoors. But be outdoors. Like I don't. That's what I'm saying. Like I don't mind going to a restaurant where there's a back patio area and then you're outdoors eating that. I just feel like when it's out on the street like that, it's just like fuck off. It's an unnecessary extra. I don't know. I don't like it.
I don't know if I agree with it or
I
not,
feel
but
like
it certainly influenced our restaurant choices.
Yeah. Oh God, yes.
Oh really? This is a real.
Oh yeah.
Oh wow.
I won't eat out on the street. I just feel like it's like why I'm eating out on the street and I'm watching people. I've done it. I've eaten on a street in New York and watched like wow, a homeless man just walked by me enjoying my bullshit on the street. Why couldn't I? Why? Like
that's about you. That's not about the restaurant or anyone else.
Sure.
This is your own problem.
Yeah, exactly. That's why I'm saying it's not wrong. I just don't like it.
Man, I don't know. It's a pleasure to eat outdoors, but
I
kind of know what you mean.
But like I will eat out back. I will, like I said.
You'll eat Outback Steakhouse?
I will eat. If there's an Outback steak, no. That's what I was saying. I was like, I will eat Outback or on Fridays, TGI Fridays.
Only on Fridays.
But or sometimes, what's another chain restaurant? Applebee's.
You're welcome.
Did you ever do that? Were you living in New York when we were all doing that? When we would just do chain restaurant Sundays or whatever?
I wasn't, but for there was a few times when
it would just be random. Whoever was around on like a Sunday, we'd all just go eat at an Applebee's or a TGI Fridays or a fucking Outback just for no other reason than just to do it.
There was a couple times when I went and hung out at the bar at Applebee's in Times Square. Just
Really?
because there was a show at Caroline's and it was like, you know how it is. It's like you just want to be in a place where it's not crowded and it's not expensive.
Yeah.
What's around? What can we go to? And it was that Applebee's right around the corner from Caroline's. They actually have a weird little room. They have a bar downstairs. And the restaurant's upstairs. So usually no one's in the bar downstairs because it's a fucking Applebee's bar.
Oh, that's
You go
great.
in there, you get like a fucking $3 Bud Light, or maybe more than that,
Yeah.
but a cheap Bud Light,
Where else is there to go in Times Square? That's a great idea.
Jimmy's Corner.
I mean,
It's the only good bar in all of Times Square.
Yeah. I have definitely been on the road and been like, I'm going to go to an Outback. I'm going to get a blooming onion and a Coors Light, and I'm going to watch whatever bullshit sports thing,
Sure.
and I'm going to enjoy it.
Sure.
Because I'm going to be just alone ripping down fried onion.
Yeah, that's the road life is crossing a highway where no one's supposed to walk to get to, where no one should ever be walking to get to a horrible chain restaurant and eat there by yourself.
Sometimes though, like I'm susceptible of even like being in a major, like in New York and being like, man, I'm gonna go to Subway.
Really?
Gross.
I'm not susceptible. To that.
I've done it.
No.
I've done it. I'll admit it.
Of all the chains, why Subway? Gross.
I feel
Is
like
it because you're on the Subway and you're like, this is gross. What's gross?
yeah. I want to eat Subway on a Subway. Jesus, that's a thing that I applaud anyone who's got the gall to eat on the train.
I'll eat on the train.
Oh, you're a fucking bravest man on earth, dude.
Why? I don't give a fuck.
God, I'm just afraid of like.
I ate on the train yesterday, but it's
But
usually
eat
like
what?
a
Sandwich?
piece of fruit, an apple.
Sandwich.
Yeah, I'll eat a sandwich.
I'm impressed, Louis.
I love being on the go, and I'm always late, and I love doing, what's it called when you're doing things that multitasking. Yeah.
Multitasking.
And so if I would always sandwich from the bodega, get on the train, eat the sandwich. That's my dinner, and on the way to the show, do the show. Bye.
Same here, but I'll walk while I eat the sandwich, finish it, and then get on the train.
Sean's okay eating on the street as long as he's walking while he's doing it.
Exactly. I'm not sitting there dining in anyone's face. I'm moving fast. And
I would always try to eat before the train, and I tried not to make a mess. But I'll tell you one good thing about eating on the train is people don't want to sit next to you when you eat on the train.
Dude, fuck no, dude. I'm 100% I have definitely gotten on trains where there's an entire section, but a guy's just wolfing down, especially when it's something like that person clearly brought from home.
With the Tupperware?
They're eating out of a container and it just smells I can't tell. It's a meaty, obviously spicy or some what is that substance? Where's it from? That guy, he's
Hot
a weird
marinara sauce or
whitish. He
something.
could be, it's is that a Polish dish? But I can't, but I'm not going to sit next to that guy because he's eating on the train.
Is it rude of me to eat on the train?
No, that's not about rude.
What's it about?
For me, it's about there's a level of don't give a fuck that maybe I'm not ready to be around. It's not. I'm not. I don't think it's. I'm not fuck that guy eating on a train. I'm just good on you, dude. Because I've seen. There's just been think about you're eating on the train.
Thinking about it.
And then what do you do if you eat on a train? And then one of these hardcore homeless people get on. Have you ever had that?
I don't know, some kind of Lady in the Tramp kind of thing?
No,
with the meatballs? I don't know.
There's a thing. There's a type of homeless person that I've only really ever seen in New York, where it's they've been homeless for so long that it's almost like they're warriors in a different realm.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
They come on the train and
That's what the Fisher King was about. Did you
right,
see that?
pretty much.
Yeah.
So what do you if you're just wolfing down a fucking Sausalito sandwich, and that guy comes on?
You have this thing where it's they don't have food and I have food and I should feel bad that I have food. But we just live in a world where I have food sometimes and I can't help that. I have food.
I do have that thing.
I don't know what to tell you.
It's why I guess we just got to the core of it. I only like eating in designated places where it's not gonna
rub. I mean,
Yeah.
you know what?
Yeah.
Do you not? Sometimes I take out my keys to my apartment in front of them and I wave them in their family. Like, what do you like? It's not. I get it. They're homeless. I'm not. It sucks. I definitely like. If I have extra food, I give it to them. I give them $1, but I'm not. I don't feel like I'm rubbing it in their face. I'm just live in a world where I eat food sometimes, and I'm not going to feel bad about that. I'm sorry, you know.
Louis has a table set up in front of homeless shelters, and orders like
craft
services right there. It's like
steak in front of him. Yes, and then jingle my keys.
My favorite fucking thing I have ever seen on a fucking subway was this couple sitting on like I don't know what you call it, like the end of the seats. Mm-hmm. Well, you know what I'm saying, where you're like right there by the door.
Mm-hmm.
Sure,
right?
yeah.
And the dude had a large amount of to-go sushi. Like they'd clearly just eaten at a sushi restaurant and had a shitload to go, and we're talking about it. We're just like looking, but not loud, not like in a very loud like, God, I can't wait to get home and get hungry again because man, this tempura salmon, num num num. But they were clearly like pointing at the rolls and talking about it and which ones were their favorite, and then when the door opened, some kid who was just in the middle. I didn't even see it come until it happened. Just took it and just grabbed it right off the dude's lap and just got off the train and was halfway down the platform before that dude even stood up.
Yeah, the sushi bandit. I heard about him.
Fuck yeah, man.
I think about that.
Jacked that couple's sushi.
Dude, I think about that with my phone. Like I try not to sit by the door and have my phone out like that. I don't know. I've never even seen it, but it just seems so easy to me to do that, to take someone's phone.
Yeah.
I mean, you know that door's about to close. Just reach in, grab it, and then you're off, and they're off. You know, and that's that.
Yeah, there was a while in London where people were just like getting their phones taken out of their hands while walking.
Man.
And I think the last time I was there, Rob Delaney he was going on stage and it had just happened to him. So he was talking about it on stage, and then he had a couple bits where he was like, "Oh yeah, I wanted to try out this. I don't have it on me. I don't have it on me."
That sucks.
Wait, in London?
Yeah.
Oh, you fucking raise your voice. You're like, stop, come back.
No.
Well, then they'll stab you or throw acid on your face or something. They're vicious out there because they got no guns.
Yeah.
Isn't everyone getting stabbed all the time there?
Isn't it? Is it?
What? Yeah.
I feel no offense, British people, but I've never felt anything but like overtly fine.
Don't they mug you, but like with a mug, like glass you? They'll just bash you in the face with the
I'll bash him back in the face.
I've heard they're pretty hooliganish and brutal. Mm-hmm. They had to shut down the bars at 12:30 because they're such alcoholics.
Yeah, but they're like, well, is that why? I thought it was just more of
because everyone's getting stabbed. It was a stabbing thing. They have stabbing issues.
Man, now we got to go back to England and fucking packing, dude.
Yes,
packing a switchblade.
Dude, it's scary. I don't want to get stabbed.
No, that sounds way worse for some
reason.
Really?
Yeah.
It's more creepy and intimate.
Yeah, I saw this Indian version of Rambo.
What was it called?
Dude, I can't remember. Because
Rambo sounds like a very Indian
name. It does actually. Yeah,
you don't have the context.
Yeah, it was kind of like I forget. It was all about like Indian independence, but he was kind of like Rambo, just this badass, and it was really violent. But instead of guns, the guy had a sword.
Yeah.
And you think like gun violence is nasty, but like sword violence is fucked up.
Yeah.
Like to just walk through a train and start like cutting people. It was crazy looking.
It's crazier to me. Yeah.
Man, you mean it an Indian Rambo.
No.
The fucking wait, so we
Yeah.
Louis.
Yeah.
Also, bless you.
Thank you.
We should get you more water if you want some more. Will you tell us your story, but only in 5 words?
Yes. Here are your 5 words.
Go.
Great.
Gorilla. Impenetrable.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Mayor.
Yeah.
Rental car.
Damn.
1 word. Simon Says. Also 1 word.
Rental car.
Okay.
Simon Says.
So, I mean, this is good. This is interesting because I do know this about you. Mm-hmm. Before you started doing comedy, growing up in California, Southern California,
yes,
very outdoorsy, very natural, as Caitlin will attest to as well. You had an obsession with Jane Goodall and her work with primates. Right?
Yes.
And
you wanted to be the Jane Goodall of gorillas.
Yeah,
though.
you wanted to one up.
She primarily worked with chimpanzees.
Primarily primates.
Primarily.
Yeah. And so, what's the best way to do that? Go to sub-Saharan Africa. Mm-hmm. Just get in, go to the epicenter of it all. You know what I'm saying? You grew up in L.A., the land of entertainment, where everybody comes. Millions of people move there to do that. You're like, well, I'm going to go to where the Hollywood of
gorillas.
Somewhere in Africa.
Hollywood of gorillas.
So you get out there, to sub-Saharan Africa.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the group of researchers is less welcoming than you would prefer.
Of course they are. Just like actors in Hollywood.
Yes,
Yes.
just like actors in
Cliquish.
Hollywood, very,
Yeah.
very cliquey. And it's a group that is almost impenetrable.
Yeah. You can't get in there.
I'm trying to penetrate.
Yes.
You're trying to become a part of this.
I just
Yeah.
want to let me penetrate your group, and for some reason that's taken weird.
No.
Yeah,
You
there's
know,
just
it's
no, dude.
What do you even know
that's
about
not how you ask for
gorillas?
consent.
Let me guess.
And-
You only know about silverbacks. You've never heard of a purple tongue?
Yeah. Like, who's this
Cool.
LA kid coming in here?
Yeah.
So you don't want to give up your dream yet. But you need to make money because they're not letting you into their studies.
course.
So you go and find a job at a rental car place.
in Africa.
Yeah.
In Africa.
Yes.
Huge market out there.
Yes.
Rental cars.
I'm taking their jobs. I'm going over there and taking
are.
other jobs
You are.
There you go.
from developing countries, and it's
Absolutely.
about time we turn the tables.
Thank
Yeah.
you. You see, and that's, it's bold of you to admit that. And while there, you're working one day, and who shows up but the mayor of your
Africa?
hometown? No, of Los Angeles.
Yep.
Your hometown at the time. I believe this was around the year 2000, so it was probably, what was it, Jack K. Hahn? Maybe? Maybe that was his
No
name?
idea.
And the mayor
The mayor of
of Los Angeles.
Yeah.
And right away, he's like, yeah, we need, we're trying to rent a car. We want to go on a safari. And
Yeah.
you're like, oh, well, actually, I can just help you with this. And he's like, where are you? And you're like, oh, I'm from Southern California. He's like, I'm the mayor of Los Angeles here on holiday with my family. And you're like, okay, this is a hookup.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So you let me take you. You hook him up with a safari for him and his family, and you decide to tag along.
Yes.
Right?
So as you're on the safari, who comes creeping out of the jungle with some gorillas?
Some gorillas. Your
Oh,
passion,
shit.
the reason you're there. Right?
Awesome.
And you've been telling him about your passion and how this group is impenetrable. These gorillas come out, and you guys are staring at them. And they're staring back at you. And they start kind of mimicking what you're doing.
Right.
Whoa.
And you start playing Simon Says with these gorillas. And you have that fucking like Jane and Goodall connection. They're hearing the Simon part. They're not following for that part. It's great. They're following all the rules. And the group that was so impenetrable has been following the same group of gorillas. And they see you having this interaction. And they're like, what were we thinking? This kid is a genius. He is the next Jane Goodall.
Right. You've penetrated the group.
Yes.
You're in now. But other things come calling. You realize in that moment, like, I don't give a shit about these fucking gorillas. I'm killing it up here. I gotta go try my hand at stand-up comedy. And right there on the spot, the mayor of Los Angeles is like, well, I can get you in at the Comedy Store. I do. It's in my city. So you move back home, and that's when you start doing stand-up.
The least believable part of the whole story was where I'm passed at the Comedy Store.
Yeah.
I think it was that. That's the one impossible
So-
part.
Yeah.
But everything else is like surprisingly close to the.
Very
Really?
accurate.
Actual
Yeah,
story.
we super nailed it.
Does that happen sometimes?
No.
No.
Wait.
I mean, a little bit. I mean, a little bit.
You're
Really? Okay.
telling me.
That's surprisingly. I'm just like for you guys to have.
So
It's
hold
not
on.
that close, but it's somewhat
Right.
close.
Well, you did
So
give
you-
us 5 words.
So you,
So we got this.
so you're saying you didn't once move to Africa to study groups of gorillas and couldn't penetrate the group of researchers that was already there because they were kind of arrogant, cliquey bastards. So you started working in a rental car where the mayor of Los Angeles at the time showed up with his family, wanted to go on a safari, and you said, "Let me hook you up with the safari." And while on safari, you showed off your connection with the indigenous gorillas, thus making the group of researchers jealous and earning a spot at the Comedy Store because of your natural comic ability. That didn't actually happen.
I mean, that's
I'll
basically
Busta
what
Rhymes
happened.
verse. I like that.
that was great.
Yeah.
You got good breathing technique, man. You could be a rapper. That was really
Yeah.
impressive.
Breathe through the butthole. Always have, always will.
Sorry, I just really like that idea.
Yeah.
So no, I mean, I did. So
Yeah,
now I
what's
tell
the
you the
real
real
story?
story. Okay.
Tell us the real
Yeah, yeah.
story.
So I was always curious about gorillas or animals in general.
cool.
I
Okay.
have a well, not gorillas specifically. I always like animals and stuff like
Yeah.
that. I got this friend who's always taking these crazy like adventure trips.
Mm-hmm.
The funny thing about him, he looks like, what's that movie where the guy like sells everything and goes to Alaska and then dies in a bus, freezes to death? Out into the wild.
Evan Almighty.
Yes.
No, okay.
Yeah,
Into the wild.
yeah.
Into the wild.
Yes.
He looks like the dude from that movie.
Interesting.
And he also goes on all
Wait,
these
who was that?
adventures.
Is that Emil Hirsch?
Yes, he looks like Emil Hirsch. Yes.
Yeah. He did a similar thing with his career. Emil Hirsch, after choking out a fucking studio exec, he
Jesus.
basically,
He did that?
yeah, dude.
He's got a weird career.
He had he freaked out
Story.
and I don't want to say choked out, but I think he put a studio exec female in a headlock at a film festival.
What?
There was something weird that happened because he was he was in a bunch of shit.
Yeah, and then he just wasn't. I just
then
figured he
disappeared.
So
Wow.
essentially, his career moved to Africa and froze to death on a bus.
Alaska.
Alaska. Yeah, exactly. Wait, what did I say? Africa?
Your facts straight.
Well, with climate change, gonna be cold. Where it's hot soon.
That is true.
One of the biblical signs of the apocalypse, by the way, is when the seasons completely
where it's
switch.
cold, where it's hot.
It is, right?
Yeah,
I know the boiling seas, but I didn't know it was like, and there's snow in Africa.
Yeah, well, it says
There's probably some snow in
cold
Africa.
and hotter in your winter and colder in your fall, or hotter in your winter and colder in your summer, something like that. It's all
fucking scary.
It's also the Bible's ding dong town. But
back to your story.
Okay, sorry.
So studying primates,
my this friend of mine, he sends out this email to all his friends like, does anyone want to go on this trip? I'm thinking about going to Kenya, and I'm gonna go to Uganda, where I'm gonna go on a little safari in Kenya, and then I'm gonna go to Uganda, where you can get these passes, and you go up and you hang out with gorillas in the they're not. It's not even like they're not contained at all. They're not trained. They're just like a group of gorillas in the jungle, and you track them, and then you go see them in the wild.
Whoa.
And there's that weird thing with being a comedian where I don't have a lot of money, but I also don't have a job, so I'm free, and I do have a lot of miles. And this was the time when, and I don't know if you can still do this anymore. There was a time when you could, with layovers, go to 2 different countries. You could use a layover and add an extra country to your miles. So I was on this trip. I went to, I think almost all with miles. Maybe there's a commuter flight. I went to Kenya, and then Uganda, and then Turkey, and then back to America, all on miles. In fact, I bought the flight with miles when I met up with you guys on the Southern tour that you guys were doing, with you, Nate. I just happened to be down there. While I was hanging out with you guys, I got on the phone. Yeah. I used the miles, and I bought this flight. So I remember that, actually, because I was dealing with it, trying to figure this out with the miles.
How many miles was it in total? Do you remember?
No, I don't.
Was it hundreds of thousands?
No, it's not that much.
Really?
No, it's not that much. I'm not flying first class. This was all that counted was one round-trip flight. Because back then...
But it was international.
Now they have it by zones, and you can't really do that as much. But it was just I want to go to Kenya, and I want my return to have a layover in Istanbul. Mm-hmm. That's it.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, so that's all it was. Yeah. So
this podcast sponsored by Delta. So
it was United at the time, but they have since changed the rules. So anyway, we go to Kenya. We'd go a safari. It's very cool. Mm-hmm. That was very neat. But the part in Uganda with the gorillas is where it really got kind of crazy and interesting. We get there. We basically have 3 days there. Mm-hmm. We get there and we have to go to some. You have to there's only a certain amount of passes to go do this every day because they don't want it to be overrun by tourists.
Right.
So it's
It also sounds like a high priced. You want to watch a bunch of white kids get beaten to death by gorillas. You want to watch a bunch of trust fund kids from California fucking have their skulls bashed in by wild animals.
I hadn't thought that there was a whole nother level that could be going on.
It's richer white people watching less religion.
Now we are in the Hunger Games.
Yeah.
But you have to sign up early to get these passes. But I guess we had to go to some guy's house in Uganda when we landed in Uganda, buy these passes from him, and then basically we had to drive to go see these gorillas the next day. You think the gorillas would hang out right by the airport? That would be way more convenient for tourists.
Of course, sure.
But instead,
in the jungle,
the gorillas are all the way across the whole country in literally a place called the Impenetrable Forests. I swear to God, that's what it's called.
That sounds like some Tolkien shit.
Yes, it does.
Yeah.
And so I figure well, we should get a guide or someone we know someone who knows how to get there. We drive there. My friend's like, no, we got this. We'll just do it ourselves. We'll rent a car. So he rents a car from someone at the hotel we're staying in. I'm like freaked out. I'm like, well, can you at least ask for GPS? He goes and asks for GPS. The guy says, oh, I've got GPS. He gives him a compass. We have a compass to use as GPS.
That's fucking
Then we say,
dude.
do you have a map? They give us a map, and the map looks like a place, like a kids menu placemat at a Ugandan restaurant.
Yep.
Like it's just a drawing. Like here's trees, here's buildings. Good
Here's
fucking
you.
luck.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's it.
Wow.
And so we start driving, and also I think they drive on the opposite side of the road there. I mean, just getting out of the city was just crazy. Just maneuvering all that. And we're going and we're driving, and like, I don't know, a few hours in, the car just breaks down. And and it just breaks down in the middle of Uganda. We're like, okay, what the fuck do we do now? We don't have AAA. There's no AAA out there.
We have a compass. we have a poor man's GPS.
Yeah. And the joke I would say when I tried to do this as a bit, and maybe it's passé now, but I still think it's a funny joke, is like a lot of people get nervous when their car breaks down in a black neighborhood. This was the blackest neighborhood. It was the middle of Uganda.
Yeah.
Luckily, someone comes by with a tow truck. They tow our car, and then we get in a ride with a bus to like a nearby village. We're at the village, and they just have like some mechanics are just looking at the car. It's like a very small village. The guy like at one point like takes off opens the hood, takes out one piece of the engine, and starts hitting another piece of the engine with that other piece. Like that's like I'm like, what is this?
Do they speak English or does?
I mean, a little bit, yeah.
Does your friend speak Ugandan?
No, everyone can kind of communicate. I don't know. Yeah, we were definitely kind of communicating, and there were all these like kids coming around to look at us, and like being like a white person in Uganda like blows kids' minds. Like every kid will just like waving at you. It's like you're the mayor of kids.
Oh, yeah.
There you go. How about that?
Yeah.
So I'm like waving at the kids, and the kids come up and like I actually know this trick from when I first started stand up. I was a substitute teacher. Mm-hmm. There's this I realized that like Simon Says, kids like to play Simon Says.
Yeah.
But actually, they don't need the Simon Says part. They just like when you say, do this, do that.
Right.
You don't have to get them. Simon didn't say. They don't give a fuck about that part. They
Yeah.
just want you to say, do this, and then they do it. So I start playing that game with them. I'm like, make your arms like a chicken, or I'll do the thing with the, I'm separating my thumb, or whatever it is. Any kind of thing like that. Or
I'm going to start doing that with late night audiences. Like, sit quiet.
Dude, people love a call and response. It's
Yeah,
like Queen at the what's it called, Live Aid. It's people love to be involved. And I start doing that, and like more and more kids start going, and like literally by the end, it's like 50 kids, and I'm putting on like a show, like for like I'm just like not stopping. I'm like thinking of more things to do. I'm like hop on one leg, like jump around, spin around. Like I just keep doing this.
And in the meantime, their parents are all just getting fucked up, hanging out. You can't leave, Louis.
I'm the babysitter for the village.
Yeah.
I mean, it was really crazy. It was like I definitely was like putting on this show for an hour, and it was like more and more and more and more and more kids. It was really crazy.
Yeah.
Impressive.
It was really cool. And then eventually they've managed to fix the car. We pay them, and then we also like pay for like pay-per-view for the big soccer game for that afternoon. So we like hooked up the village, I guess, with a free soccer game.
Okay.
So that was cool. And then we got to go. But now it's like by that the pass to go see the gorillas is only for the next day. Like we either make it there or the whole thing is ruined.
Yeah.
We have to make it into the impenetrable forest by the end of the day. And now it's like dark. And there's no lights on the road. There's no signs. It's like nothing. We don't know where we're going. And now it's like, so we lost all that daylight. So now we're just driving around. It's kind of dark. We don't know where we're supposed to go. We know the name of the turnoff. And at one point, my friend, he was the one driving, he just pulls off the road to like smoke a cigarette because he's so stressed out because we're both like, where the fuck are we? Like, it's like, it's also, we're going to the less developed part of the country. It's like, is there even a place where we could sleep if we didn't get to this camp? Like, where are we supposed to go? We pull off. He's smoking. We're like kind of about to give up. We look up from where we happen to pull over to smoke. It's the sign for the turnoff that we needed. It was right there. Yes, we just happened to pull over there. So then we go up this crazy windy road, up this crazy mountain thing. We finally get there. It's like 10 at night, and we got to the camp. We made it to the camp where everyone is to go see the gorillas the next day. We sleep in the camp.
Hey, like a tent?
Yeah, they had like different tents and a few different
like
groups.
Yurts?
I literally can't remember.
Yeah.
I think it was like cots and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But it was definitely a little bit rugged. We get up the next day, man, they drive us like They drive us to go. We're gonna go find the gorillas.
Yeah.
I see the road we were on. The cars literally the next day, and these are people who drive these roads all the time professionally. They're going like 4 miles per hour. They're going so slow because it's so fucking dangerous. My friend was just zipping up this mountain. Like, if we could have seen it, it was like it's a windy road on the side of a cliff with potholes as big as this table every couple feet.
God.
Like, it's amazing. We made it. Like, that was probably the most dangerous part, was actually going up that road.
Wow.
And we just didn't die.
Yeah.
Thank God. And then we go out, and we were like, the thing about the gorillas is also like, so they don't have tracking devices. It's just like based on where they last saw them.
Right.
So like you could be walking all day
and
not even see the gorillas, and that's just, you got an unlucky day.
The guy's just referencing a compass. Like, I think they're northeast.
I mean, that's the technology you're working with.
Yeah.
But and they got like guys with rifles, like just in case the gorillas get crazy. It's like it's a little, and then but luckily the gorillas were actually pretty close by, so we hiked for maybe like half an hour, and then all of a sudden we just come across this whole like group of gorillas, and it's so cool. You're just like 10 feet away from them. It's hard to. First of all, they're so peaceful. They're like just chilling, eating leaves. They're just vegetarians, man.
Yeah.
And they just like sit around and eat leaves and stuff. And they're so fucking big. It's crazy. I mean, like their hands. Their hands are so huge. They're so massive.
Yeah.
It's really nuts to see. And it was just really beautiful to see, and we got to see them and we made it. And then afterwards we went back to the camp. We played like soccer on a field with all these like local kids, where it was like a field like on a mountaintop, basically like overlooking like this whole valley.
Amazing.
It was beautiful, and it was amazing. And then we woke up the next day to go, and the car wouldn't start. So now we're stuck on the opposite side of Uganda, and we've got a flight in a day. And we decide, fuck it, we're leaving the rental car there. We left the rental car on this mountaintop, hitched a ride all the way back to the Ugandan capital.
Hitched a ride,
we went back with we took a ride with some other people that were on the trip with us about halfway, and then we hired like a cab the rest of the way, and we straight up left the rental car on the other side of the country on a random mountaintop.
Wow.
And that was the whole trip.
Really?
Yeah.
And they didn't. I guess they didn't take credit card information or anything like that.
I mean, my friend's like, I'll cancel my car. Like, fuck it. I mean, that's that. I mean, like,
What
we got to
else are you gonna
go.
do?
They gave us a bad car. That's what happens,
Wow.
There's
Yeah.
so many moments in that
car's
story
still there,
where
by
it's
the way.
like, like the fact that you randomly a tow truck passed when your car was broken down, where you didn't know where you were.
Yeah.
Like,
Well, I think what happened was like someone pulled. What happened was like someone saw us by the side of the road, and there was
okay.
that village close by,
Yeah.
and that's where the mechanic was. They're like, "Hey,
got
send
it.
the mechanic
Okay.
back."
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
It wasn't-
that
yeah.
and like the pulling over to smoke a cigarette and
That
the
was
turn off.
so randomly
and then
lucky.
The cliff driving.
And the driving was like, I mean, I
Crazy.
can't. It's picture the worst road you could ever picture, and it's worse than that. I mean, it's like it's not just potholes. There's like rocks jutting out of the potholes. I mean, it was crazy. It was like.
That's why
it was so dangerous.
That's why the car died of just straight anxiety.
Yeah,
the
for
car
real.
itself was like, I'm not going back down that road. I'm done. I imagine.
It's like the car from Harry Potter now. It's just in the Forbidden Forest, the impenetrable.
Yeah.
Yeah, the
Impenetrable
impenetrable forest. We penetrated it.
I think when I think of the fantastical version of impenetrable forest is a bunch of really like cunty trees. Like, nope, you're not allowed. You can't come in. Bye. Are you still here? Bye. Bye. Oh, dude, that is such a.
That's a crazy story.
That is
man.
crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah,
and then so wait. What did you just watch? Like you touch a gorilla?
No, you can't touch them, and you hope they don't come up to you or mess with you, or like there's no like drama. You kind of keep a low profile. There's rules like I'm sure, and I can't remember them all, but it's like either like don't make eye contact or only make eye. Probably don't make eye contact. Like try to make yourself small. You know what I mean? Like be chill. And I mean they were so close, and they're just like there. I mean there's gorillas in the wild. Now the one thing is that they're not like random groups of gorillas. They've been doing this with these gorillas. They're not captured. Yeah. They're not tame or anything like that. But they've just they're accustomed to seeing people out there with them. So they're not like, what the fuck is this?
Right.
So there is that. But the gorillas could have done whatever they wanted. They're just gorillas just out there with us.
Yeah.
It was really amazing to see. So cool.
That's awesome.
You are just. That's like, man, you are chiller than an accustomed gorilla. That one kind of rocks. But dude, that is. That's fucking nuts, dude.
Yeah.
Because that's such a, like, I think about the part of that stresses me out the most was the car not starting the next day and then having to get back across Uganda.
Oh, yeah.
Because the idea of, like, missing flights in situations like that.
Yeah.
Because when I was in, like, this is a completely different set of circumstances, but, like, years ago I was in Cuba for a friend's bachelor party, basically. But, like, we were in Havana, but our flight was out of Veradero, which was, like, 2 hours east. And there was one shuttle bus at 6 a.m. and then nothing for the rest of the day.
Damn.
And one of the dudes wouldn't wake up.
What?
Not like in a oh God, he's not responding way, in like a straight up like, hey, fine, yeah. And they would fall back asleep. One of the guys.
That's so annoying.
And there was a moment where I was like, it was like 5:58, and the driver, everyone in Cuba speaks pretty goddamn good English. The driver was like, man, I have to leave at 6 a.m.
Wow.
Like I cannot be late. We have to pick up 2 more. We're going 2 more to hotels. So, and there was a moment where we were all kind of like, we're going to leave him. If he's not fucking down here, like we've had like 5, like physically like shook a motherfucker.
It wasn't his bachelor party, was it?
It was, yeah.
Oh, you can't leave the guy.
Yeah, we're like, well, we will leave him.
You can't leave the guy whose bachelor party it was.
He speaks like fluent Spanish. We're like, he'll get back.
We're gonna leave Darius?
We were going to leave him. It was annoying because it was like, dude, you knew we were. This
is one of our friends that actually listens to this.
Yeah, he knows. He remembers. It was like, A, you knew we were doing this fucking thing.
Yeah.
B, it's not like we stayed out crazy late the night before. We were all back in our rooms by like midnight. And C, he speaks fluent Spanish, so it'd been like, you can stay in Cuba.
Yeah.
Also, he left his passport at a different hotel day 2.
Jeez.
So it was like, you want to stay. But I don't want to miss my flight back home.
That's what it sounds like.
Fucking,
Wait, so what happened?
He showed up. He came
okay.
dragging his ass down at like 5:59. Like,
Jeez.
He got on. That was also props to my fucking immune system. That was also a 2-hour bus ride where I don't know if it was any version of Montezuma's Revenge or anything like that, but it was like I was on the bus and then became overwhelmed with like hot, cold flashes.
Jeez.
And then was like, I'm either going to shit my pants or vomit right now. And it got to the point where I was like, well, I'm going to puke. There's no bathroom on the bus. This guy's not going to stop. This guy's not going to stop or pull over. So I was like, I had my like backpack. I'm like, I'm going to take my laptop, my like computer bag. I was like, I'm going to take my laptop out. I'm going to puke in the bag and then zip it shut. And then when we get to the airport, I'm just going to throw the bag away and just carry my computer.
Is that what you did?
No, because then, like, as I was, like, gearing up to do it, I swear to God, I suddenly became freezing fucking cold. Like, it was I was like, Jesus Christ, like, freezing cold. And I, like, had to chill. I was like, I had to stop for a second. And then the urge to vomit passed. And then I was like, okay. No, I'm all right. And then, like, another hour on the bus, I was like, all right, I'm fine.
Wow.
But then the moment we got to the airport, I went and fucking Lyft drivered it, the toilet. You know what I mean? I went and fucking Lyft drivered that toilet. But none of that. But I think about being on a Ugandan mountaintop and being like, we've got to get across the country.
Yeah,
in one day.
It's like literally the span of the country. It's like the airport's on one end, impenetrable forest on the other end. Oh, and also I should add, like, if we go the wrong way, on that side of Uganda was like where I believe the Republic of Congo was, where it was where there was like wars going on. We go the wrong way, we could really be in some shit.
Fucking 11-year-olds with AK-47s. Oh, the white man or any man, kill anyone. Yeah.
I listened to that story and I'm like, I would never plan a trip like that. And then I think back to like my early 20s when I was just backpacking alone in Southeast Asia, and I was like, I totally did shit like that all the time.
Yeah, I can't believe some of the stuff. I can't believe, like, man, I just lived in Rio de Janeiro when I was 21, and I would just take public buses, like, hours long, like, deep into, like, shady parts of the city, like, in the middle of the night, all the time.
What were you doing living in Rio de Janeiro?
I studied abroad there in junior year.
Holy shit.
Yeah.
Was it amazing?
Yeah.
Can you speak Portuguese?
Yeah, follow.
Oh, is that it? Is that the one word, or can you actually...
Yeah.
Wow.
I speak Portuguese, fluent.
That's really?
Yeah.
Another thing we didn't know about Louis Katz.
Yeah.
Portuguese, one of the kosher languages, which you can...
Most kosher.
Yeah.
Can you teach us a cool slang phrase or just like a phrase that
Like say like, are we cool? Like ta legal?
Ta legal?
Ta legal. Yeah, that's
Ta
right.
legal.
Ta legal.
I like it.
Tá legal.
Yeah, is it cool? Ta
How do you
legal.
say, are we kosher? They don't have that word.
Estamos kosher.
Ah.
I don't know how to say kosher,
Yeah.
but there's definitely like. When I was first staying down there, I was staying with my friend who is a Brazilian Jew. So there's Brazilian Jews for sure.
Yeah.
But yeah, man.
Do they put a yarmulke on their giant Brazilian booties? a second yarmulke.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
No, but the one kind of weird thing is that M's in Portuguese at the end make an N sound, and his name is Rosenberg.
Oh,
But
interesting.
Rosenberg?
but it's Rosenberg
Rosenberg.
because they spelled it the way it should be to be pronounced right in Brazil, and now he's here and he's Rosenberg. Where there's no, you've never heard of a Rosenberg. There's only Rosenbergs. Clearly, it's Rosenberg.
Yeah.
And they wrote it for Brazilian Portuguese. So
That is-
Interesting.
yeah.
That's
and,
fun.
and just to tie, like the name Rosenberg was there was a fucking furniture store in New Orleans, and it had a very, very popular jingle.
Really?
That was a Rosenbergs. And it was like a little girl going 1825 Tulane. That was the address, right? And one of the greatest, Lil Wayne. I forget. It was one of his mixtapes. I forgot. I don't even remember if this tracks had titles, but it was just these long, chorusless, fucking just like basically. Stream of consciousness raps. Right? Always, I think Lil Wayne is a very underrated rapper. But
He's a genius.
yeah. But he ended a song with the lyric that was like, "I'm the only fire that can exist in the rain. I am so New Orleans, like 1825 Tulane." And it's such a like.
That's so cool.
It was a
An
moment.
inside joke
It was
for
like
only New
what?
Orleans.
Like you feel like. But I remember the first time I heard that was in L.A. It was like 06. And it was someone was playing it at like a house party.
That's when he had all these great mixtapes.
Right.
In the mid.
And I remember
2000s.
like that came out, and I was like the one person. Just like what? And like everyone was just like, "All right, man, cool." Love some Lil Wayne. I'm like, you gotta. Never mind. But Rosenbergs, that was probably the one Jewish family in New Orleans.
There's Jewish families.
There's
always Jewish families everywhere. It's kind of like a thing when
Yeah.
you travel. Like you go to like, well, you either go to where the Jews still live or where the Jews used to live. They have got one or the other. Every place in the world does.
Well, remember, everyone, listeners, go out there. Make some Jewish friends. Pick their minds about all the Jewish things.
Yeah.
But don't say,
And-
can I ask you some Jew questions?
Yeah.
Don't say that.
Be my Jew guest and listen. I have Jew questions for you.
Don't say that things. But then again, if they're cool, they'll understand.
That's right. I have no problem with it. And by the way, if you like travel stories like this, I got my own podcast. It's
Yes,
all
please
travel
plug.
stories. It's called Roadheads. I host it with Matt Fulcheron. We want to have you guys on, so please come on real soon.
Yeah, sure, absolutely.
And I tell all sorts of kind of crazy travel stories. Never told this one on there. But,
There you go.
But now maybe I should. I don't know.
Where else can they find you?
I'm on all the things. It's Louis Katz, LouisKatz. I think it's Louis Katz Comedy on Instagram. But you can find me with that name all over the place. And is this coming out soon or when?
Couple weeks.
Couple weeks, yeah.
Yeah, you can see me February 13th, 14th, and 15th at in Appleton, Wisconsin at the Skyline. Is that the Skyline? At the
Skyline.
At the Skyline in
yeah.
Appleton, Wisconsin. And the very next weekend, I'm opening for Dave Attel in Phoenix, Arizona. So see me there in February.
Yeah.
Cool.
And what is your album called? There's one. Is this ball?
Oh.
If these balls could talk.
If These Balls Could Talk is the first album.
Yeah.
The latest album is Catskills. You can get
love that
them
title.
everywhere.
That's a great name. Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
You get them everywhere where albums can be downloaded. So check them out.
Download. Where did you do Catskills?
I taped that in Portland, at Helium in Portland.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah. Listen to Louis' albums. They're all fucking hilarious.
Thank you.
One of the best. And his jokes are as tight as his beard hair.
Thanks, man.
Wait, do another of a.
That one
like
was, man, your jokes are tighter than your beard hair.
There,
That's not
I needed you to do it in the voice.
pretty good one.
Yeah.
Totally different.
Louis, let's tell you something about Louis. He ain't no broke dick dog. He's dirty as fuck. All right, thank you, buddy.
Yeah.
Thank you guys. That was fun.
Woo!
Going back for seconds of free samples, leaving the store without buying anything, standing backwards in an